going off the subject is encouraged, so no worries.
Hmm.
What we do is we record the interviews, and those interviews are then archived at the Leather Archives and Museum in Chicago. Those
Hmm.
are then made available for researchers who want to use that information.
As a performer, I use my first name, which is Beltran, usually. That's also my main name in social media in the Facebook Meta universe.
Yeah.
But in Twitter and in the adult industry social media or networks, I use Scruffy Stucky. I think my coming out has three different moments. One of them was obviously realized that my sexuality was not heterosexual and struggling with that idea for many years because I grew up and was brought up in a rugby community in the rugby local rugby team. I couldn't merge the possibility of being accepting my sexuality and also keep being a rugby player from my community of my small town. Actually, the guy that made me realize it was not just a flirt or just a game to fool around with boys. I started growing feelings for him, so that eventually became a relationship. There was like very few people talking about the bear community in Argentina. I never saw something like that popping up in a newspaper or a digital newspaper.
Mhm.
It is a symptom that there are more things that need to be shaken. So I'm gonna still be here bothering you all. I started working in TV, covering LGBT issues for like a daily show of young people bringing like these kind of progressive subjects to the national TV. You cannot be effeminate and dance and artistic and use your body and be like fat on a stage when you are a rugby player. A bear, it was and it is what it's not a mainstream gay. Honestly, that's not very anti-systemic.
Mhm.
If any other gay guy can dance on a stage of a party that does not welcome bears, that is not a bear for me. If you don't picture them as a bear, if you don't use their image to illustrate what a bear is, they will not be illustrated anywhere else.
A concise history of self-identifying bears, and bears have always been self-defining. Drag bears are very big in the United States these days.
I've always thought that masculinity, like stereotypical virile masculinity, was overused as aesthetics. It's great, and I really enjoy his work, and I enjoy looking at these old pictures of Jimmy Dean and Marlon Brando. But when you put that on stage, there are very few ways that you can make that a novelty. It's a symptom of what it keeps expressing this very reductive way of understanding how a gay guy can be hairy and big and feel themselves as part of a community when they are not portraying a stereotypical uh, a male. When you are like that, when you're a stage guy, an artistic guy, a theater kid, or you dance or you sing and you do it like with this fruitiness that you can do it, or using feminine energy and masculine energy and all that, many people read that. I think it's because they feel threatened. I don't know, I'm not a therapist, but I think it's that thing that I keep getting, like messages to parties that post flyers of me going to perform saying like he's not a bear.
As Les said, the Leather Archives Museum are collecting materials, so either they or we can bring that in, mainly just to be representative of what things you've done. I Google your name and find you dancing.
That's a good question. There's probably a problem in your social